Hello everyone and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. In today's video we're going to talk about some of the best equips that you guys should be farming and focusing on in Dragon Ball Legends. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel for more content, as well as the notifications so you don't miss anything uploaded here on the channel. So that being said, I want to say that this is going to mainly just pertain to some of the more popular teams and prominent teams right now, like Future, like God Key. Not going to delve into every single team because there's too many of them, right? But you can kind of take the knowledge that I give you guys in this video and apply it to their teams and, you know, some of the philosophies that I have when it comes to equipment. So speaking of equipments, the first thing I want to say is, if you have not, do check out my two-part equipment upgrading information videos where I have down below, where I talk about a lot of things, whether it's how to get this or that rank or best practices when it comes to upgrading equips, things of that nature, because that's going to be very relevant. You guys should all be working on equipment. I always hear like, oh, I don't have even one S equipment, but it's like you're probably not following the best practices. It is luck-based, but there are things you can do to maximize your luck chances, right? So other than that, though, I do have in those videos information like, oh, if you equip this equip to this character, does this or that happen? And also some people think, like, one thing that's kind of like a myth is like people think if you equip this equip on slot 1 of the character, they only get the slot 1 buff. Like, there are things like that that are just not true, that if you think these things, you probably need to check out my other videos and listen to both of them and get the full information. So for this video, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do a lot of stop and goes. I cannot give you everything in 2 minutes, so please bear with me. Listen to the video if you can. Everybody wants instant gratification. I cannot do that because there's so many different variables when it comes to equipment. There are different stats on these equips. There are different ways they're calculated based on what they say, which text they say, right? There's equips that come out that are better than older equips. Things change. Team composite. There's too many things, right? I can't give you an overall general, but I will give you the best that I can. So we're going to start off by taking a look at some of the best equips in the meta, and we're going to go ahead and be right back. Okay, to start things out, we are in the exchange shop for the equipment medals. So if you don't have the equipment medals, you can get these by playing PvP or via the limited time 2nd anniversary event that is a part of the equipment collection. So go to events, go to equipment collection. There's a limited time for the 2-year anniversary. Like if you're watching this video in 6 months, it's probably not there, right? But you can go ahead and play that. It'll also drop like a Shallot equip, which I just recommend farming 1 or 2 of those just to hold on to because they might get better. They're decent for people that don't have a lot of equips. But regardless, though, that's where you're going to get them. So I want to kind of start off by highlighting some of these equips that they have here and going from there. So this equip right here is an interesting one. If you're looking to build a tanky God Key team, or if you have fighters that need more defensive viability, you can go ahead and get this equip and give it double defense. Ideally, again, defense for slot 2. Unless you have a melee fighter you're equipping this to. For the record, my philosophy is not to give ranged fighters strike attack stuff, like to prioritize just the blast stuff, like what they're really good at, right? I don't think it's worth your while to try to bring up the weaker stat to be more of an average stat, for example. If a fighter can be good at both things, like Vegeta Blue, for example, then sure, give them double attack if you can. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. But if they want to just do blasts and all their kits built around blasts, like for example, the green SS4 Goku, he wants to do blasts, right? Give him equips that say blast attack. You'll maximize what he can do. Other than that, though, so this is a good equip for defense. Also, this last slot, it's kind of what I was talking about. It looks really bad. 2 to 5 looks really bad, especially when you have things like 13 and other stats like that. But it's actually far better than you think. The reason why is because calculations change. There are multiple ways that the game handles these different calculations. Notice it doesn't say base strike defense like the other ones. That's very important because it actually calculates differently. There are other variations of this type of equip where it's like, oh, versus this battle member, get this type of bonus, or like there are different variations, right? So do keep that in mind, but this is far better than you think it is on the surface. So good equip if you're looking for more defense or just in general like a strike attack buffer for God Key. Speaking of which, Future and requisitely God Key comes to mind when I think of ranged Future types because Merge Zamasu. Good equip for Merge Zamasu in particular, defense, key recovery, and blast attack up to 20%. Definitely consider giving that to him. Otherwise, ranged Future fighters are really good with this as well, like Yellow Goku Black, for example. In terms of ranged units as well, this one's actually really good for fused warriors. So this one primarily is going to be used on, there's not a lot of fusion warriors that are ranged, but primarily it's going to be used on yellow Vegito, for example. Also can be used, I believe, on blue Gogeta. There's a couple, just in general, it can be used on. But again, you have an opportunity here to get a triple attack equip. That's what I recommend going for, triple attack. If you really feel like you need blast defense in the last spot, because it can be either or, if you just get a good roll and don't want to re-roll it or whatever the case is, which is a whole different thing that's covered in my other videos. Don't ask me about that here. Or Equipment Awakening. I'm not going to cover Equipment Awakening too much in this video. But this is an equip that you guys should be using if you are running either of those characters, ranged fusion warriors, because Yellow Vegito is going to get a lot of attack out of this, and the way that the game averages out those stats is actually very relevant in terms of special move damage and stuff like that. So other than that, let's go ahead and stop and go again. So we have, actually, before I do that, another equip that's really good on ranged fusion warrior, or excuse me, future units as well. So I keep thinking of like Zamasu when I pop up these equips. So he's like all this stuff, God Key, future fusion warrior. So this is a good equip for him. Blast attack and double defense. Again, good one for him if you're looking for him. Otherwise, ranged future units as well will benefit from this. Now, this is an equip that you guys should be considering for Vegito Blue. Strike attack up to 15%, blast defense as well. But this last slot's really interesting. So it allows him to take a damage cut versus green units when his health is below 50%, and it's specific for strike damage, but he takes a lot less strike damage versus green units. Now, this is one I think it's kind of on the fringe, because I feel like he doesn't need this, but if you really feel like you're running into a lot of greens, like Kefla, for example, this will help you mitigate some of that damage with Vegito Blue, and it's for any blue unit in the game, so it's going to be good with any blue unit. So here is Blast It. This is an equip that's actually really good, either if it's going to be double defense and critical, or Blast D, crit, and strike attack. Very good for any yellow Saiyan, like Blue Kaioken, for example. This is actually an equip that he would be able to maximize very well as a strike unit if you get a strike roll on slot 3. Be sure to pick this equip up. It's got an insane amount of strike value. I have this as a Z, for example, and I've got like 27% strike attack, and it's for any red unit. Any red unit. Definitely get this one. Get this one for sure. So I would recommend getting this equip for Shallot and Awakening it. Just that's all there really is to say about this. Get this and Awaken it, because SSG Shallot will be coming out soon. I don't know when. This one is interesting because it allows for Vegito Blue and Gogeta, the blue element. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say Gogeta Blue, but you know what I mean. Anyways, that being said, it allows for them to be a unit that gets either double defense up to 18%, or you can also get blast attack, which again, Vegito Blue is a unit that can maximize either stat. He's fine. So if you want to do that, you can. But special move damage as well, up to 15%, which is actually very deadly on Vegito because he has the ability to cover change into a non-switchable final Kamehameha. So definitely think about that for him. If you have EX Red Gogeta, you need this equip. Look at all the stats. It's for EX Red characters. Just for the record, every color of EX character has access to an equip like this. For example, here's the red one, here's the purple one. Each color will have access to these. So if you run EXs, you need these equips in general. Especially Gogeta, though, because he's the most relevant and best EX in the game currently, in my opinion. This is a godly equip for any, well, green unit like God Vegeta that is able to do a lot of strike damage, right? Blast D and up to 25%, 25.5% in strike attack if you get good rolls for any green fighter as well. And again, some of these equips are just going to be in other events as well. If you need to know where to get these equips, you can go to the equipment archive, which if you go to your equipment, right, you go to characters here, go to equipment, you'll see the archive button in the top right section. It'll tell you where you can get them, right? So that's a really good one for him. If you happen to be running Super Baby 2, this is a good equip for him. All the defense, he wants to sustain as long as he can. It's good for regen fighters. So there's that. This can be a nuts equip for the new Rage Trunks that just came out, either giving him double strike defense up to 27% or double blast attack up to 27%. Both are stats that the new Trunks really want, and it can be on any hybrid. So if you just want to get this for like other fighters like LF Goten, for example, and give him 27% more blast attack, this is really good. This one is actually available in the Legends Road Shop for the Trunks that's available right now too. Definitely pick this equip up for Blue Kaioken, for example, especially if you get a strike attack buff on slot 3, because of the fact that units that are good at special moves in general, like Blue Kaioken, that maximize that, you definitely want to give them special move damage buffs, but it's for any yellow fighter overall as well. You can also give this to units like Hit, for example. He's not really meta relevant, but you can give it to Hit, and he'll be able to maximize it too, even if you want to give him double defense. Pick this up for Merge Zamasu, double defense and HP. I can't stress how good that is. Like any equip that's double defense and HP, always farm them. Always, 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 always. Especially if you have low stars on units. Always get good copies of these equips because they're going to help your low star units be relevant and sustain. Here's an example of the movies version, right? This one is for the movies. Here's an example of that. This one is actually a really good equip for the new SS4 Goku. Key recovery and blast attack up to 20% alongside strike defense. It's for any green Saiyan as well. I farm this damn equip, especially if you awaken it, by the way. I have this equip at like 30% strike attack because of the awakening, and it adds in strike attack in another slot. It's nuts. For any red melee unit, it's nuts. Like Rose, for example, nuts. Completely nuts. You need this. You absolutely need this. In the current Omega Shenron event, there are actually 2 equips that you guys will want to pick up. This one is actually really nuts because obviously we're probably going to get Shadow Dragons in the future, but also because of the fact that Shadow Dragons like Sin Shenron, for example, Omega's alleviated a little bit because he's actually a fusion warrior, but Sin, for example, really needs access to equips. So you should consider really farming that, and same goes for this equip. This is really good for the new4 Goku, and actually really good for SS4 Vegeta. But also not only that, it's for any ranged GT fighter, so it's not only the Saiyans, for example. In the Rising Battle for Vegito on stage 105, you can farm these 2 equips. So this one's actually really good as well. You have the opportunity to get either Blast Defense or Strike Defense on slot 2 with Crit on slot 1. And this actually works on any Saiyan or Android. And again, you have the return of that special move buffing as well. So if you have a unit that really wants to do special move damage, like the LF Namek Goku, he's an option. This is a good equip for him. Other than that, again, Strike Attack as well in slot 3. And then this one's actually really good for full Saiyan compositions, whether that's God Key. Pretty much God Key is like that as well, other than like Zamasu, for example. It's all Saiyans. But this is a good one as well because you get the Strike Attack, the Strike Defense, and then slot 3 offering up to 5% for each Saiyan battle member. Again, each, it's different, right? So the numbers are a little bit different, right? So that's a good equip to definitely consider. So this event actually is leaving, so be sure to farm it. It's in the Android Menace event, the Future Gohan event, so both of these equips are ones you should consider. I don't know if I mentioned this one earlier, I feel like I did, but you definitely need to go ahead and farm this one as well, and if you can awaken it too, it gets a lot better, even though you might not see that because slot 3 changes to being one of those 2 to 5% type of deals. Anyways, double defense and strike attack as well on any future character, any. Vegito Blue, hello. Rose, hello. Mern Zamasu, if you want to do that as well, hello. Like all of them. All of them. Really good equip. The Android 18 event does feature this equip, which is actually really good for Kefla, even though slot 3 is kind of whatever. But slot 1 and 2, HP and attack, if you can get opportunities like this to get HP, whenever you can get HP, do it. HP is probably, in my opinion, the most important stat in the game. So definitely go ahead and get HP if you can, and up to 20% and up to 15%. Good for any female warriors, so Kefla or 21 if you're running them. Definitely want to go ahead and pick this up. In the Cell event, there are 2 equips that are really solid. This one is okay. It's only because it's only for Super Saiyan 1 Sun Family fighters. There's not really many of those that are really relevant in the meta, but double attack is always good, so definitely get that. And this one is for future units. You can get either Strike Defense, or you can get Strike Defense, and then for slot 2, either Attack Stat, and then Blast Defense, and it's for any future fighter as well. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want from this, right? Either Blast Attack or Strike Attack, depending on what you get, and build your team around that. And the Nappa and Vegeta events have the last couple of equips I'm really going to maximize here for the video. So this one is really good. It's always been good. It's been in the game for forever, basically, and it's always been really good. It also awakens, but I'd probably not awaken it. Just for the record, you don't necessarily need the blast defense change that it gets, but regardless, it's up to you. Anyways, 20% strike attack, critical, and key recovery as well. This is a nuts equip. It always has been good, and you should definitely consider it. The Vegeta event, like I was saying, though, is one that has access, and these ones are here for forever, basically, has access to a couple of really good equips, but most notably, it's going to be this one. This equip is stupid good. Stupid good as well. Strike D up to double attack as well. This is an equip for any melee unit as well, so you don't have to worry about like characters that don't have a ton of equips, like for example Hit, I mentioned him earlier. This is a great equip for him, and there are just so many equips. I tried to run through this as quickly as I could. There's so many equips. Like if I come to equipment collection, I look at these equips here, like there are good equips. Like this equip when it's awoken is so incredibly good. Same for this one as well. Really, really good equip. Double defense. Slot 3 also goes really high. It has a good chance of being high in terms of the weight on it. Saiyans have good equips. This one in particular is stupid good in terms of getting double attack. This one here, I recommend farming as well because HP is, again, very relevant. This is for any Saiyan, but be careful. Don't awaken this because when you do, it changes. But there's just so much, right? So I wanted to just kind of highlight equips that I think are really important in this meta for all of the meta teams. You guys will have to fill in the pieces in between. I could have showed you examples of what I was running, but again, I don't think that matters. I think that it changes. I think that your star count matters. I think that your team composition matters. If I say, oh, run this, but you don't have this or that character, maybe it matters more in other situations, right? So that's pretty much it. And I wanted to just give you guys an example of some of the best equips in this current meta, focusing on the main teams that are most commonly played, right? There are other teams that are very commonly played, like, I don't want to say as common, but very good, like Regen, right? Regen's in hiding, but it's incredibly powerful, right? So there's that. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. And hopefully this wasn't too much info. I tried to go as quickly as I could, but I'm sure it was a lot of info. Have an awesome day, and I'll see all of you in the next one.